What is going on, everybody? ZakRC here, welcome back to the channel and welcome along to episode number 28 of the F1 2021 Driver Career Series. If you haven't seen the last episode, go and check that one out. There'll be a card in the top right hand corner of your screen now. If you're new around here, then make sure to go check out the playlist so you can watch the series from the start. And lastly, make sure to subscribe to make sure you never miss a new video that I post. So we're here then at the Circuit of the Americas for round number 16 of the championship. Hopefully it'll be a more entertaining race than we saw last episode, so spoilers there if you haven't seen it. Without further ado, let's jump into the workstation and get this episode underway.
Okay, I need your attention. The tech regulations are changing. There's a risk some of our hard work will be undone, so we need to mitigate it. As soon as you can, I want you to look at the developments we have and tell us what areas you want to invest in protecting.
So obviously in the last race, in the last episode, we got a warning basically about the next season's regulations, which don't really won't pay much attention to because we're not only going to the end of this first season, so not too many worries there. We've got our emails through as always, 4 of them today. 3 from Pierre, 1 from Jeff. The first one being the weekend preview we get as always. We've got developments coming through, and these are just ones that are safe in terms of the next season's regulations. That'll be the downfall. That'll be the aerodynamics ones. The weather forecast is going to be dry for qualifying, but wet for the race. So we might struggle, but we could do very well. The McLaren's been very good in the wet, and of course our development update, which we haven't got in a while. See, those are our last few results here. We've done considerably better since we moved to McLaren. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into first practice here and see how we get on. I'm going to do our quick practice programs as always. Same strategy as we've gone for the last few episodes. We're going to try and get one on each to start our things off, and then we'll move on to other ones later in the session. We've got our race strategy one locked down there, so we'll go to track acclimatization now. Another, once again, 100% chance of success, and each one of them takes about a third of the session to complete. And now onto qualifying pace. We'll get one more done. If we have enough time, we'll go for one more. I don't think we do. I think that's all we got. Yep, so one on each to start things off, so not too bad at all. On to practice 2 now. I'm going to move on to have a look at race strategy a little bit further now. So try and get 2 more on those, then we'll move on to track acclimatization if we can. 70% chance of success in this first one. 12 minutes and 20 seconds gone, which is completed, no issue. Got another about 9.5 minutes. We got a powertrain upgrade, discount, which we managed to get as well. So now we'll move on to track acclimatization. If we can get another one there, that'll really help us. Only just got enough time, and this failed, and that's quite annoying. So that's going to set us back a decent amount there. So we only just managed to get in time. Moving on to practice number 3 now, so we have to go back and have another go at that track acclimatization one. It's only 6 minutes and 20 seconds this time, so it's a decent bit better than last time, and that one succeeded, no issue. Got another 9-minute one here with a durability discount, and that one fails as well, so that, again, that's going to set us back further. We'll give up on that now and go over to qualifying pace and just try and get something out of that, try and salvage that situation over there. And I do believe that's all the time we've got in terms of the major ones. So try one more here for a 25% chance of success. I doubt we'll get it. There's a durability discount in the line if we do, but it has failed as expected. Right, and so not the best of runs in practice then. We've got 3 on race strategy, 2 on track acclimatization, and 2 on qualifying pace. So not the best of runs, but it could have been better. So yeah, it could have been better. Regardless though, 1,000 resource points over the line from both ourselves and Daniel Ricciardo, our teammate. It's pushed up to 1.6k. We've got 1 development boost from the powertrain, and that's going to be a 2% discount that brings the upgrade that is up to 2,000 resource points, and we hit driver claim level 11 as well. We came very close to hitting the last episode, and we've done it now. So we are then after qualifying, getting ready for the start of the race itself. Looking forward to this one. It's a bit wet, but that could stir up some chaos potentially. We've got our pre-race email as always from Jeff, so we've just got to make sure to keep our noses clean over the course of the race, and hopefully we should come away pretty well. In terms of our rivalry, after qualifying, we're leading by 6-3. Between us and Lando Norris, of course, the driver we replaced at McLaren, so try and get some more points for that over the course of the Grand Prix. So without further ado, let's jump into it, and hopefully we'll get a really good race out of it.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turns 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. But we may well see cars struggle to slow down there today as the wet weather does interfere with the low speed grip. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Bottas, Sergio Perez, Cohen, Sainz, Gasly, Fernando Alonso, and Sebastian Vettel. Tsunoda, Russell, Mick Schumacher, and Ricciardo. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Latifi, Mazepin, Lando Norris, and Lance Stroll. They've taken a grid penalty. Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So here we are then on the grid for the United States Grand Prix in the wet, qualifying in P6, one of our better qualifying performances. Not much, or literally no change to race strategy in terms of tyres, but we're going to bring the fuel down as always, just so we have that little bit less to carry over the course of the race. We're going to jump right into this one. We've got all potential for a good result now. So here we go now, on the grid, 5 red lights for the start of the United States Grand Prix from 6th place in the wet. Lights out, here we go. We held the lights a little bit longer than usual there, but we don't get away the best. Bottas didn't go too well in front of us. Here comes Gasly on the right now. Sainz managed to make his way past as well. He's lost 2 places in the run down towards turn 1. Go on the inside here of Bottas and potentially Leclerc if we can. Leclerc gets a better drive off. We've managed to hold off Bottas for the moment. So we're going to squeeze around the outside. Yes, we can. So up to P5 here again at 1 place from the start. And now we'll start chasing the Ferrari. Looks Charles Leclerc to make way to the S's for the first time. A bit of a mistake there. We still managed to keep on clean to the chain. Just behind the Ferrari. But Bottas is something he's trying to do. We don't want to break too late. We might run into the back of the player and that will ruin our front wing. We've got to be very careful in these opening stages because we're bringing dirty air. We've skid a little bit there. That's a terrible mistake. We've gone way wide there. Bottas gets past now. Sainz goes on the inside as well. He's going to move us down a spot from the start. So that's not very good. We're going to try and duck to the inside of Sainz. Go very audacious down to the left-hander before he turns in for his braking point. So he managed to make way past there. So back up to the started now. Back in P6. Using the factory to get away from the corner. Put away from Sainz. A rate of knots here. And now we're trying to close it on Bottas as well. So decent start. We moved up briefly in the mid-up mistake, then fell back. So quite unfortunate. In terms of the weather report, it's looking like it'll be take a while, wait for a little while, but almost like it's going to hold the horse time for now. Moving on now to midway through lap number 2, just reaching the second one. Right behind Bottas here in an attempt to try and take P5 of the Mercedes. The big distance Mercedes hasn't been as fast. Of course, he won last time out in Japan. Here he is rolling down in P5. We're ducked to the inside again if we can. That's how we did on Sainz. This time Bottas is already turning in, so there's a little bit of contact there. We've gone for a very late move. Perhaps he might have last time, but it's paid off. None of us taking much damage. But we're now in front of Bottas. Right behind us here, so trying again. Behind another move back to the inside. We're using our battery here. We're kind of waiting here. We are getting away from him. We're trying to make a pass. We brake very late there. Only just managed to avoid getting the back of the first car, similar to how we did on lap 1. Bottas is now back on our outside, trying to make something work into the right hander. It looks like we're going to hold him off for the time being and hold on to that 5th place position, which is always positive. Moving on now to the end of that number 2, and it's going to come through over the line. It's at the fastest lap of the race. This McLaren is freaking quick down in these wet conditions. So hopefully this is a sign of good things to come over the rest of the race. Our next target though is Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. Let's go back up through turn 1 and now back down the hill. You see, look how close we are to the back of that Ferrari's gearbox on the exit. Of course, we're still chasing Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship, separated us by 11 points, so it's just trying to get that gap back any way we can. Ricciardo hasn't had the best of starts to this Grand Prix. He didn't qualify as well as we did. I believe he qualified 8th, if I'm not mistaken. And so he's fallen back a bit on this start. Meanwhile, we're chasing Leclerc in an attempt to try and take P4, so we can gain some more points in Ferrari. That'd definitely be helpful to try and close that gap by a decent amount, to hopefully potentially even take possession away from them today should something go wrong for either Leclerc or Sainz. For now though, the Monegasque is our main priority, and a duck to the inside of him, and for the 3rd time this move might pay off though, but we didn't turn in enough, so there was contact. We've managed to find our way past though. Neither us or Leclerc have damage, so all is okay. In terms of the weather report, it does look like it's drying up, we're going to be drying up very soon. Come now through to the end of lap number 4 and check it again.
A clear patch on its way. There's about 10 more minutes of this rain. It's hard to say if inters or wets are better right now.
So just at the fastest lap of the race again there. We've got to take in what Jeff just said. We're not sure as to whether dries or inters, wets or inters are best or not. We're going to duck to the inside of Perez and attempt to take P3 though. A bit of contact, or a lot of contact there. We're going to skid it very nearly skid it off the track as a result. We've managed to stay in front of Perez, but of all the overtakes we've made so far, that was arguably the most elbows out, and probably didn't deserve to take the place in the way that we did, but we have got the place now. Perez trying to take it back to the S's, trying to find an opening, but we won't make any for them, so not make it too easy for them in order to get back past us. We're now in podium places, but in terms of this strategy, unsure as to what to do. Normally, by now we would have been told what to do to get a warning for track limits there, which is fair enough. But normally Jeff would have told us what to do in terms of an alternate strategy, but right now he's giving us nothing. Perez is going to look back to the inside, might try and go for a move in the same manner that we have. We've gone a bit wide there, going for that last left-hander. So Perez might get on our inside on the exit. We get the better traction though on the outside and get away from him. But Perez still right there all over us. He's stuck in now the left-hand side, but now backing off again. So unsure as to what his strategy is. Pushing on now to the lap 5. We're still unsure as to what to do in terms of pit stops, but it's looking like Verstappen staying out and Lewis coming into the pit. So we're going to take that risk. We're going to pit with Lewis and we're going to go onto the intermediate tyres, and that should hopefully get us to the end of the race. A couple of cars coming in behind us, Perez and Bottas, both on their way into the pit lane. Of course, Perez, the championship leader, needs to gain some more places. I think right now battling for third is the best thing you can do. Hamilton and Verstappen really pulling away in the distance. In we come now for our stop. There goes Gasly going just past us there down the actual pit lane drive. And managed to get out just in front of Perez there, only just squeezed in. And I believe Ricciardo is also coming into pit lanes as well. Yes, he is. He's in for his stop, so he's comparing a double stack incredibly well there. Managed to make that pay off, and now we rejoin in 9th place, just behind Mick Schumacher, Perez and Bottas right there on our tails. We begin lap number 6 of this United States Grand Prix. Verstappen's yet to pit. Lewis is a decent way in front of us. He's in the middle of that pack we've just caught here, coming towards the end of that 6th lap. Skidding a little bit there on the exit that last turn. We'll try and duck to the inside of Schumacher if we can. The quicker we can get through these cars that haven't stopped yet, the better. A bit of contact as we fight our way past. We're really getting the elbows out today, taking no prisoners. We've managed to find our way up into P8, and that'll soon be P3 if I'm not mistaken, because still a couple cars yet to pit. We've got one of the Ferraris that stayed out, not choosing to double stack because their cars are too close together, so that makes sense. Verstappen though is into the pit, so we'll have to see where he comes out. There's Lewis, who's still staying on the track as the rest of the pack all come into the pit lane here to come through to start lap number 7 of this Grand Prix. Down the main straight we come. Verstappen already out of the pit lane and back out onto the racetrack, so he's really done well out of that. He's stayed out for the extra lap. He took that risk and it's paid off as now Sebastian Vettel puts up the fastest lap of the race. We're now 2.3, around 2.1 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton, so he'll be our next target in terms of chasing. Again, about half a second on that last lap.
Then we think it's going to dry up.
Through here.
10 minutes. Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now.
I know I talked a little bit over that. We've got 10 more minutes of this rain here, so it's looking like this rain's going to be here to stay, regardless of whether or not it dries up towards the end of the race. The track's not going to get dry enough to go on to potentially a set of soft tyres, as we skidded way too much there. Almost lost the car. We've managed to hold on to it though. We've lost a lot of time to Lewis. We've managed to get it back though, but by midway through lap number 10, we've got 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix. See how close we got there. We had a terrible run from the left-hander. Lewis managed to get back away from us, so it's not too much of a gap to close down now. It's about a second. I feel like we can do it in these late stages, but catching Verstappen could be another task. I doubt we'll be able to do that. On towards the end of lap number 12 now. Verstappen 3.6 seconds off the road, sorry. And now we're right behind Lewis, 3/10 separating us here. Might try and go for a move similar to how we did against Mick Schumacher a couple of laps ago and try and duck to the inside again. There we go, underneath we've got second place at the moment, but Lewis still turning in, running his normal line. We've gone into a place where he couldn't give us much more room. Lewis gets back in front with a dive to the inside, and there we go, underneath, cut the corner as we do so. I'm surprised we've managed to get away with that. It reminds me of an overtake Verstappen made on Kimi Raikkonen in the closing stages of I believe it's the 2018 United States Grand Prix, but we've managed to get away with it. He didn't that time, so I think we've lucked out there. Hamilton now pulling into the pits. I'm not sure if we gave him damage or not. From what I saw as we went past, I don't think we actually gave him any. I think his end plate on the front wing's okay, so he might be changed on to a set of tyres, a set of fresh tyres.
Radar is clear. Weather is looking good for now.
A bit more right now, as Jeff's telling us in the weather report, but it's still not enough really to go onto a set of dry tyres, and it didn't get it dry enough for the rest of the race. Now to come through the last couple of corners, it looks like we had no more challenges left. Perez 4.2 seconds behind us. Verstappen about to head to the final corner now to win the Grand Prix, but I think we've got to take things in here because this is our first podium in Formula 1 as we round the last corner to come home in second place here in America, and as I say, first podium for McLaren and the first podium of the F1 Career Series. Get in!
Okay, good job mate, really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car.
These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
There you have it then. Verstappen wins the race for Red Bull. We come home in second place, our first podium in the career series since getting to F1, and Sergio Perez loses a bit of his championship lead as he comes home in third, but all in all, a very entertaining race in the red and definitely one of my favourites of the season so far.
Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. Some amazing talents out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Cohen. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern day Formula 1.
Let's move on to the constructors. Red Bull pulled further ahead in the standings. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula 1 action. I can't wait to see what's next.
So after the podium finishes, then the rest of the top 10 goes Bottas, Sainz, Leclerc in 6th, Gasly 7th, Ricciardo, our teammate, comes home in 8th, Sebastian Vettel 9th, and in the end, after that second stop, Lewis Hamilton rounds out the top 10. Verstappen jumps up in front of Hamilton in the championship, but Perez still leads by 30 points. We've closed in a bit more on Ricciardo and Norris just in front of us in the standings, and in terms of the constructors' standings, we're now just 6 points behind Ferrari, so that gap is closed without a doubt, and we could be in real fighting position over the last few races of the season, so we'll have to see what happens there.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled. After all the teams have updated their cars for next season's regulation changes, where do you think you'll come out? Great. Well, that's everything.
Alright, that's the end of a very, very exciting United States Grand Prix. Then in terms of the rivalry, we beat Norris 5-2, and that brings the gap between us 11 points to 5 points. So we're on course to be winning that rivalry in a matter of races time. We get some more points in the driver acclaim, bring us up to about a third of the way through level 11, so not too bad at all. Here we are now back in the Team HQ. We've got a worn components warning. I'm not sure what that's about, because from what I saw, our components are looking okay for the time being. I don't think any of them are in real danger of needing a replacement. We've still got a couple of parts we haven't used yet in terms of the MGUK and the MGUH. I don't remember using a fourth one over the course of the season, but apparently we did. So in terms of the MGUH, but apparently we did. So that's something I have to deal with. Might change things up when we get to the end of the next race, which I believe is Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so everything's looking okay on the power units at the moment. So yeah, and in terms of the R&D, the main things that are being recommended here is just to work on those other upgrades to save those. So I have to have a look further into those. Sorry, I just realised I made a huge mistake at the start of the episode. It was the aerodynamics ones that need fixing. So in terms of the upgrades there, we would put on a chassis upgrade, and that'll bring us, a powertrain upgrade. That'll bring us a little bit closer to our rivals at the front and potentially bring us past Ferrari. We can advance time to the next Thursday. That's the Mexican Grand Prix, which will be the next episode. And we haven't got any more resource points in our flat foot upgrades. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. It was a very enjoyable race on my end. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Like I say, if you did enjoy it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And make sure to check out the playlist if you're new around here to get yourself caught up with everything that's going on. Check out my other videos as well, the story mode and some of the other stuff I do. So that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching once again, and I shall see you in my next video. Have a good day, guys. I'll see you later.